Welcome to the nuts and bolts of sharing documents within Google Drive. Our starting point, as always, is Google Chrome. Works with other browsers. Seems to work best with Google Chrome. So it opens up, and by default, I go to my search engine Google page. Just Google search. If you're not there, you can go www.google.com and get there. If it opens up to like just an empty tab or something. So then what I want to do is just go in and find my applications here. I go ahead and click Drive. And by the way, some of these icons change as Google makes changes, so you just have to kind of be aware. Look for the applications. I think it's been pretty consistent that this has worked. So I have my folder, schoolwork, and let's say within that, I can open that up. Open and work over here. I'm going to open my English folder, and let's say here, I'm going to share this practice document with some people. Number of ways I can do this. I can right click it and select share. I can click here, select it, and then say share or share up here. Or I can open the document, and with the document open, I can select share up here. And that's how I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to share it. Now, right now by default, this is the link to it here. And by default, it is private. Only people I invite can access it. So if I send somebody this link right now, they're not going to be able to open the document. I have to grant permission. So you can change this, and you could say anyone with the link. So in that case, if you said anyone with the link, anyone you send that link to, or anywhere you post that link, if they click on it, someone can go in and make changes to it. Public on the web would mean anyone on the web could search for this document, find it, and make changes to it. Once again, probably not. These two are probably not ideal unless you didn't have their email address. I've used the anyone with a link, right? Wasn't sure if they had a Google Apps account or something. But really, actually, it's probably not the best route. Specific people, that's probably the best. Also, so I'm going to go ahead and share this with a few people. I have a couple of accounts here. I have an account under a different domain. It's also eJarvis. And I have a personal account. And you'll notice here it says that these people can edit the document. You might not want them to be able to edit the document. They can make any changes that they want to make. You might want them to only be able to make comments. If you select comments, they can read the document, see it, and then they could click this comments button and then write suggestions here. And we'll go over more on adding comments to documents and later. Their comments would appear in the right column, and you wouldn't have to make any of those changes. They'd just be suggestions for changes. Let's go ahead and say can edit. And now if you want them to get an email notification that you shared this document, that's usually a good idea. If you're a teacher, you might not want to do that because you'll get up to 150 emails, but I'll show you how to manage that later. You can add a message if you'd like. So make changes. This document, all right. Okay, and then you click send. So these people are going to get an email notification that you're sharing this. Just ask if I'm sure I want to send it to people who are outside the SLCUSD organization. So I'm going to say yes. Okay, and these are the people I shared it with. Now it's kind of nice to have to add pictures to your account or to add a picture to your profile. I went over that in the Google Docs Basics. So I know this is this picture I use for my school. This is one for my personal account. So I can see the photo. So if a student's sharing with me, if I want them to share with me, they'll know they successfully shared it with me and they didn't make a typo in the email address if they actually see my picture here. So, and then I can customize it. Let's say I want this person to be able to edit, but I want this person to only be able to view it. Or this person only be able to make comments. That I can do. So maybe I want them to only make comments. Or I can even change the ownership. So I can say, I'm done with this. Remember, if I delete the document, I'm the owner, it'll get deleted from their folder as well. They'll lose it as well, even though they made changes to it. So maybe I want to just hand this over to somebody, and I could do that. But I'm going to leave it as is. So this count can make edits, and this count can save the changes. If I want to delete somebody, I no longer, I gave them rights, but now I'm having second thoughts. I don't want to do it. I can click this X, and they'll no longer be able to edit it. They'll no longer be able to see it. So I'm going to click Save now, and done. And there we have it. So I saved those changes. So I've shared this document with a couple of people, my versions of myself. So now I'm going to go ahead. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to sign out. I'll log into my other self, and we'll take a look. This will take a second here. So I'll go to my other account and get logged in and see what it looks like here. So someone's shared a doc with me. So here's my drive. And then what you do, if someone's shared something with you, click Shared with Me. Now I also sent an email notification. So I'm going to go to my mail. This is one way to get it. And should have gotten an email. Practice document right here. There it is. And it has a little comment on it. And I could click it from here and open it up. But the other way to do this, I'm going to close that out, is to go to Shared with Me. Okay, so it says, it appears, the most recent appears at the top. If you can't find it, and somebody says, I shared that with you, and this has happened, just for some reason, can't find the document. You have this great, don't forget, Google's first entry into business was a search tool, and they do searching quite well. So you can say, search for documents within your Shared with Me. So somebody shared something with me, and I say, well, I don't see what you shared with me. When did you share this with me? And I'm looking through. So what was it called? And I'll just type in a search term, and it's loading here. And all the ones that say practice show up. And now what I can do, since someone shared it with me, I can place it in my own folder here so that I have it. So now I've moved it over here. I actually haven't moved it. I've sort of copied it. It'll still appear if I go to the Shared with Me. It's still there. So I no longer just look in Shared with Me. People share something with me. I know we're going to be using this document for a long time. I can file it away in my own drive as well. Keeping in mind, if the owner deletes it, the document will disappear. So sharing is quite a useful tool. Just working on sharing stuff. So if I make some changes here, and kids love to just write hello, all those things will appear. So, and then as you go through, you can say see recent revisions. So at 3:41 today, Eric Jarvis. Now they all say Eric Jarvis, but the red Eric Jarvis is the different version of myself than the green Eric Jarvis. So, and then the kind of color codes. I can go back to certain versions. Here's how it was presented to me, and I can restore this version as well if I wanted to go back. And here's the most recent version. When I close this out, it goes back to its normal color. So I can see who made these changes, and I can say, I don't like these changes, and revert it back to other versions. As a teacher, sometimes when kids are doing group projects and someone makes an accusation, hey, somebody messed it all up, I can see exactly who the culprit was or what changes were made along the way by going to revision history, and that's under File, See Revision History. It's a useful tool that we've used in the classroom, and you might find it useful as well. So that's in the nutshell, sharing. You can share an entire folder. So you can right-click this writing folder and share it with somebody. So that's useful as well. You don't have to stick with just the documents. So there's a very brief nuts and bolts of sharing.